Dobar den! Greetings and welcome to our special edition of Teachers on Hiatus Goes to Bulgaria. This past week, my mom and I have explored Bulgaria and all of its wonders, so please stay tuned for some wonderful highlights from our trip to Sofia, Burgas, St. Anastasia, Sozopol, and Veliko Tarnovo. If you would like to see more detailed information with itineraries and hyperlinks, be sure to check out our 3 blog posts on the website. All right, rolling. Hi. So we are doing our first day in Sofia. We dropped off at our beautiful hotel, and the first stop is this really cool Serdica. It's an ancient Roman village that they discovered when building the metro station here. So it's like a metro station with archaeological remains. It's pretty cool.
From the 5th century AD.
So, Mom,
Yes.
what are we looking at here?
We're looking
What
at
is your meal?
This meal is baked pumpkin with cheese and pumpkin seeds. Looks luscious.
It does. And then I have some traditional meatballs, which look kind of like hamburger patties, and this delicious beet and pumpkin soup. Mom and I are all gussied up in our dresses. And I know it's very new for me. I live in hiking clothes. And we are going to go out on the town today and explore Sofia. We are going to go to several churches, a few museums, and some outside spaces.
And the Central Market.
And what?
The Central Market. Great day in Sofia today. One really nice thing about Sofia is that it's very accessible by foot. It's a very flat city, easy to get around, pedestrian friendly, and most of the main sites are just kind of right here in the center city. So we were able to very easily visit 3 churches and 3 museums, and including the 2 churches from yesterday, we've got a really good overview of the kind of historical context of Sofia, which is the current capital, but also just the history of Bulgaria and in general. We had just left our luggage with hopes that it will still be here when we get back.
Mom's just a little nervous because we're taking what tonight?
We're taking the overnight train to Burgas.
That's right. And so we're going to stash our luggage here during the day and go explore. We're going on the outskirts of the city in a taxi to Boyana Church, and we're going to do a little hike, and we're going to go to the National History Museum and spend the rest of the day doing some walks around some of the green spaces.
Yep. And then go to a folklore performance at dinner.
Yeah. She's shy. Mom and I are following Google Maps on a main thoroughfare. Look, or so Google says. Google doesn't really know much about Bulgaria, I don't think. But we are, I don't know where we are, but you know what? We're seeing the real Bulgaria. Nastrave. Okay, so I've done some night traveling, and I have to say this is probably one of the best sleeper coaches I've ever been in. Yeah, plenty of room. We're not squished in here like sardines. We have our own private sink. It's pretty stellar. Good morning, Mom.
Hey.
How'd you sleep?
I slept well,
She
actually.
did. She did. I woke up a couple of times and something fell, and I was like, "What was that?" And she's like, "She was out." But that's awesome.
good.
That's really good. That's really good. So we are just about to arrive in Burgas on the Black Sea, and we're gonna explore that town a little bit. What'd you order, Mom?
I ordered black coffee.
A large.
A large black coffee.
Yeah.
I used to be small.
So we are sitting in the train station here, and I am writing a blog about Sofia while we're waiting for the rest of the town to wake up because it's 6 a.m. So we are at the symbol of Burgas, or Burgas, which is the Burgas Pier, which was rebuilt in the 1980s, which is red. And the light behind us is so pretty, shining down on the Black Sea. We just really wanted you guys to get a chance to see it. So we're walking through the Maritime Park and just really enjoying this little crisp, but you know, not too bad weather.
Oh, it's wonderful. You could smell the sea air the minute you got off the train. It's fabulous.
So we are about to start a tour of museums, which we have purchased a group price for. There's 4 museums of Burgas. We are now at the Ethnographic Museum, and we're on the floor that my mom loves the most.
Yes.
Yes.
Costumes.
She takes a picture of every single square inch of those costumes.
Every square foot.
Below.
Yes, living in a prime location in a highly recommended yet very empty restaurant.
Arf, arf.
Yes.
And we're going to be here a long time trying to get the bone out of this fish.
All I'm saying is I'm very impressed with my ability to debone this fish. Morning. So we are at the port of Burgas, and we have just been informed. So tonight we're staying on St. Anastasia Island, which is about 4 nautical miles off the coast, and it has been home of a monastery since there's a 10th century monastery there, and then it was like what they call the Bulgarian Alcatraz. It was a prison, but there is a hotel now. The monastery cells have been converted into rooms for guests. And apparently we're the only guests that are going to be there, so they had to cancel the boat. So we're going to get to take the private mayor's boat over there. So there's a mayor of the island or something. And I think we're going to be the only guests, but they said, don't worry, there's also a chef. So we're going to have a private chef on our private island. So we've gotten our tour. The mayor has left, although we have learned that the woman who was talking with us about taking the mayor's boat over was actually trying to say manager. So we've gotten a tour from the manager, and we had a really long, lovely talk with this man, all about the history of Bulgaria and the culture, and it was just really refreshing to have an insider's perspective and point of view. This island has been habitated since the 6th century. The monastery was built here in the 10th century. And recent history, this was actually what they called Bolshevik Island, first because they used to imprison Bolsheviks here prior to the Bolshevik Revolution, and then after, when the country Bulgaria became communist, it was actually Bolshevik Island to celebrate those same said Bolshevik communists. So it's got a really interesting history. Right now they're really trying very hard to make it a tourist attraction. In 2014 they opened the hotel, and they have a grant from the EU to try to bring in as much tourism as possible. They have 5 years to do that. So if you are listening to me, you must come to Burgas, Bulgaria, and take the boat to St. Anastasia Island. Come. Just discovered there's free Wi-Fi on this island.
Her husband
Ooh!
loves the fish.
Perch?
Perch. Black perch?
Това е платирина.
Ah,
Зарган.
Zargan. Not for
No,
you.
CC.
Kingfish. Барбум.
Kingfish.
Ah.
Baba boom.
Барбум.
Bada boom.
Виж какво попене.
Oh, two.
Bravo!
Very good.
We are at the 100
Years ago.
years ago restaurant, and we are being served by Vasil and Stefan, who are absolutely delightful Bulgarian cooks who've made us this wonderful monastery salad.
And they're going to eat with us too, which is really exciting.
And we're drinking Burgas Rakia, which is very, very good according to Stefan.
Na zdrave. Exciting. I know. We just had the most delightful and entertaining evening with our two new favorite Bulgarians.
The fishing chefs.
The fishing chefs. So it turns out the two chefs that were here, that came over on the small boat with us, are just friends. One is the chef here, the other is just his friend, and they came to fish all day, which they did. They fished all day and they showed us off their fish. But they are hilarious. We only understood 10% of what they said. Good morning, Bulgarian breakfast. Oh, and also Mom.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Cece. Hi, good morning. She thinks she's going to enjoy our breakfast, but we are going to enjoy it by the sea with the fishermen right outside the window.
And the seagulls, and the pygmy cormorants, and the cute little wagtail that I don't know what kind of bird they are, but this is Bulgaria at its finest.
we're on the bus to Zapol, where we're spending the night, and we are going to land here in Old Town and explore a little bit of the history of one of these more ancient Roman towns.
Used to be Apollonia.
Apollonia. And we have a friend. Do you want to be on a YouTube? Say hi.
Hi.
This is our Hungarian friend. he's been giving us tips. So now we have arrived in Zapol, Bulgaria, which is actually the oldest town on the Bulgarian Black Sea coast. So originally founded by the Thracians and then taken over by the Greeks and then the Romans, who built so many of these beautiful Roman walls and fortresses that are still standing, and then the Byzantines, and then promoted as a communist resort town. So a lot of history here, but it is very quaint and very small, and actually all the museums were closed early and the churches. So the real joy and pleasure that we found here was just walking through these quaint city streets.
Sea, and the Gauls, and the island, and the Gauls following the fishing boats.
So it is morning in Zapol, and we had planned to go to the castle of Rada di Novo this morning, and we were told there was a free shuttle or you could take a taxi. The shuttle doesn't run until afternoon, and we have found 0 taxis this morning. 0 taxis. So we've wandered over to the new town to see if we can find a taxi, because it's just too far, but it's along kind of a freeway, so we could walk there, but it's not exactly safe. So let's see what we can get into.
Hey!
So we keep finding taxis,
Yes.
but parked. No driver. No drivers inside, so we might just head on back to Burgas, but still a very lovely visit here in Zapol. Back on a bus. So we are on our way to Veliko Tarnovo. It's a 4-hour bus ride, but it's supposed to be really pretty because we're going to be going into the central part of the country and up into the mountains.
We made it!
So we arrived in Veliko Tarnovo, and we had this plan to take bus 110 to the city. It was supposed to take us right down the street, and we missed it. We were standing in the wrong spot and the bus just zoomed by, but we asked like 3 people where it was and they all told us a different place, so we were very confused, but we were in a taxi. and that's easy peasy. And we have a new friend. Yes?
Hey, new friend. Room.
Oh my god. So we just arrived at this very unassuming kind of like metal door with the name of our guest house on it, and we're like,
What kind of,
and we walk in. There's only 2 rooms here, y'all, and it is, I mean, come here. I'm gonna show you the whole tour, you know, at some point, but just, oh, you can't even see behind me. This is our balcony, full view of Veliko Tarnovo behind us, and you know, it's just the little things. Shampoo, conditioner. I mean, that's not been guaranteed at all this trip. There's a hair dryer. There's creamer and actual coffee and a kettle. She's gonna bring us breakfast in our room tomorrow. This woman, Valya, she's so nice. Yeah. She's just so nice. This place is just really spectacular. Just. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are having a traditional Bulgarian breakfast brought to us in our breakfast nook with views of the fortresses in the haze, and it is just stunning. Just stunning here this morning. I've been captured!
And we're going to chop her head off.
We're out to find a place that's actually open for dinner in the off season. We saw this place last night. It was really cool. It's like a Euro pub. So we stopped for a little pre-dinner vino. But we've been looking for this Mavrud, which is a varietal only grown here in Bulgaria, and the only wine they have is Mavrud. Na zdrave. Pretty good. Traditional Bulgarian cheese platter. Traditional Bulgarian salads platter.
Not traditional Bulgarian mama.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is our very last day in Bulgaria. We are spending the day in Veliko Tarnovo, doing some of the things that we didn't get a chance to do yesterday. Right now we're walking across the bridge to see the Acid Monument as well as the Palace of Culture. And then we're going to do some hiking up Sveta Gora Hill. Mom's really excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
They mentioned lots and lots of steps.
Can't wait.
Now we are visiting Trapezitsa, which is the fortress across from Zarovets, and it only recently opened. So I think they must be in the process of making it pedestrian friendly. But it looks like they've got sidewalks, except for one little sketchy place to get over here, but it is accessible by foot. And there is a funicular up, and then you can also take a trail up. So we're going to take the funicular up and the trail down. Blagodaria! Thank you for joining us this week in Bulgaria. We have had a fantastic time. And now our top 5 tips for Bulgarian visitors. Number 1, watch where you're walking. There's dog poop on the streets everywhere.
Be sure to bring or buy quickly some instant coffee if you want coffee in the morning.
Speaking of in the morning, they eat a lot later than we do. Breakfast is usually starts at 8:30 and goes till 10:30, and dinner starts at like 8 o'clock and goes until 10 o'clock the same. And they eat much more slowly than Americans. Expect your meal to last a while.
And be ready for all the cigarette smoke.
And last but not least, we were here off season in October and it was beautiful, no tourists, but be prepared for things to be closed. You know, kind of have flexibility in your schedule. Just kind of go with the flow. We never felt unsafe. We always felt like people were kind and hospitable. Enjoy your stay.
It was fabulous.
And join us next week when we go to Romania. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.